All right, Doc Favors here. Welcome to our noonday masterclass called the Double Up Masterclass. And as always, guys, I'm truly excited to be here with you. I believe in what we're doing. I really believe that we are called in this hour to do some awesome and dynamic things, okay? And so those of you who are coming in with us, we know some of you all are at work. Feel free to leave your comments and things of that nature here so I can see you all. I should be able to see some of the comments down below. And as always, we appreciate you wherever you're coming in from, okay? Some of you all who are watching on YouTube, we appreciate you as well. And guys, let me just say this. Let me just get into why it is that we want to do this. So this noonday masterclass, obviously we have been blessed. We're doing some things. Some of our clients are in this same group, but guys, hearing and seeing what's going on in the world. And I live in Jacksonville, Florida, and we just had a shooting, a mass shooting that took place, you all racially inspired. And I really believe the reason for that is that we have a lot of people who are in the world, you all, some who just want to do evil, but then sometimes we need help. And I believe that we're crying out for help. Some people are crying out for help and just don't know how to get it. And so sometimes in life, I found that many times we need mentors and don't know we need mentors, okay? And sometimes in life, you don't know that you don't know until someone who knows tells you so. So with that being said, what I'd like to do is share a little introductory piece because this is the first day. Now, as I said before, this book right here, if you do not have this book, you are doing yourself a disservice because this book changed my life. There are 3 books that really changed my life outside of the Bible, of course. Now, that's just a given because I am Bishop Favors. But this book here changed my life. Think and Grow Rich. Another book that changed my life was As a Man Thinketh. And then, of course, this book, U Squared, okay? And I'm talking about my life in the growth and development space. So let me say this. When it comes to the double up concept, you all, comes to me or came to me in my earlier years as an entrepreneur. And as an entrepreneur, you all, you understand that the double up is a mindset, just like U Squared, the book that I'm gonna be reading from. It is a mindset, you all. And what happened was, for me, the mindset was for me to take the funds that I had and take what's in my hand and learn how to double it. And I want to give you this, right? So if you start with the number 2, if it's $2, what happened? You double 2 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512, 1012, 2048. That is 10 times. That's 10x. Now watch. If you develop this and you learn how to do this, then the next 10 goes from, if we're starting from $2,048, the next 10 then goes to 4096, 8192, 16384, 32378, 65536, 131,072, 200,000, 262,144, then the 524,288, then the 1,048,576, and then ultimately the 10th double up is $2,097,152. So if you understand what I'm saying to you, the double up, the mindset is a skill set, you all, because no matter what's going on in your life, if you can double up from $2 and you learn how to double that 10 times and you get to 2,000, you can double up 2,000 and get to 2 mil. I need you all to understand that. So that's what that is. So the first lesson, our first session today, and it may not go too long, but you will just see what happens, right? We're not in no hurry, not in a pre-scheduled time. I blocked this off so I could really get with you all and help you all do this. So here's the thing. The first story, or the first chapter in the book, you all, I'm going to read and quote, it says it's a true story, all right? True story. Now, excuse me, true story. He says, I'm sitting in a quiet room at the Millcrest Inn, a peaceful little place hidden back among the pine trees, about an hour out of Toronto. It's just past noon, late July, and I'm listening to the desperate sounds of a life or death struggle going on a few feet away. There's a small fly burning out the last of its short life's energy in a futile attempt to fly through the glass of the window pane. The winding wings tell the poignant story of the fly strategy, try hard. Now, I want to take a moment right there and share this with you all, just right there. How many of you all have ever been in a situation where you've been trying your hardest, man, where you even grew up and they said, just try harder, and you thought that was the answer to solving the problems? You know, you got a business that's failing, you have a relationship that's not working out, and you think that you should try harder. Come on, I can't be the only one that when I was messing up in grade school, they said, just try harder. Well, even back then, you all, I had a wherewithal that, should I really try harder, or should I be trying to come up with a solution to why it is my problem is still there? Now, I'm going to read a little bit and it's going to unfold to you, but I want you to consider that. Put this right there, put a pin in, try harder. Try harder. We hear that, try harder. How many people in here, if I were to ask you just to put a note down there, know that if you would just try a little harder, your business would be successful. The goal that you have, the big goal that you have, it will come to pass if you would just try harder. I ask some of my clients that, and y'all, I'll tell you, the results are amazing. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to read just a little bit more. Now, watch this. The frenzied effort offers no hope for survival. And ironically, the struggle is part of the trap. It is impossible for the fly to try hard enough to succeed at breaking through the glass. Nevertheless, the little insect has staked its life on reaching its goal through raw effort and determination. Now, here's something else that I want you all to realize. I believe in raw effort and determination. I believe that we need that and we have to have that. But in the words of Thomas A. Edison, I want you now to develop the mindset and get into a thought process that if you want to get to big levels of success, there's always a better way. Matter of fact, if you're really watching this and you're starting to get this story, this smaller story, I want you to type that in the chat below. There is always a better way. Notice that Edison didn't say there's sometimes a better way. He didn't say there might be a better way. He said there's always a better way. So now you're starting to see the dichotomy or the difference between try harder and a better way. Let's continue. He says the fly is doomed. It will die there on the window pane, the window sill. But now watch, across the room, 10 steps away, the door is open. My. 10 seconds of flying time, and this small creature could reach the outside world it seeks. With only a fraction of the effort now being wasted, it could be free of his self-imposed trap. The breakthrough possibility is there. It would be so easy. So now if you're thinking, okay, well, what's the better way? What do I do in situations like this? The better way was what? He says 10 seconds away. Have you ever experienced a time in your life where it always seemed you was one day late and $1 short? Come on, I cannot be the only one, you all. At one point in time in my preaching career, when I first started preaching, guys, it seemed as if that I would preach a sermon this Sunday, and then by Wednesday or Thursday, some information come to me, and I'm like, man, you know what? That would have been great for last Sunday. Well, the lesson that I had to learn was not necessarily try harder, but be open to opportunities and open to awareness. And that's the key word right there, you all. I have a video over there on YouTube that talks about the 7 levels of awareness, and I strongly suggest that you check it out. But in this particular story, you all, the fly did not have the awareness to stop focusing only on what's in front of him. He didn't have the awareness to take a minute, stop, and just turn around, even, you all, and fly around. 10 seconds. Here it is, he's exerting all of his energy toward this window, trying to break through this window, trying to stay focused on what he has. It almost reminds you of a Blockbuster and Netflix, don't it? It almost reminds you of the typewriter versus the computer. And it should remind you of now a Google and a AI software called ChatGPT that eventually probably is going to put Google in a real situation, if not out of business, because ChatGPT can tell you almost any and everything. You just have to know how to ask the right question, which in essence is the same thing that Google does, right? So here's the thing, you all. Why doesn't the fly, watch this, why doesn't the fly try another approach, something dramatically different. I want to pause and insert this parenthetically, you all, that the mindset of the double up says that sometimes it's not necessarily to do the thing harder and try harder and try harder. Sometimes you need to relax and take another approach. Now, here's one of the things that Bob taught us. Of course, you all know I'm going to be sharing things from that place as well. As a matter of fact, I found this book through Bob. He suggested it. Bob taught us one day in a lesson, you all, that if you have a big problem, put that big problem on the table. Have you several chairs around the table, put that problem on the table, and then begin to dissect that problem and sit in different chairs at the table so you can see that problem in different perspectives, different angles. I guarantee you, when you do that, what's happening, you all, is you're unlocking a portion of your mind, a creative portion. It's actually a higher faculty called imagination, okay? And when you begin to utilize that higher faculty, the higher faculties do away with your see, hear, smell, taste, and touch, the 5 senses. This is where when you talk about the understanding of the stick person, right? Your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, your body equals your results. I have a video on that, so I'm not going to go deep into it. But here's the thing. When you understand how it works, guys, and you activate the imagination supersedes your regular logical understanding. I'm gonna say that again. When you can dream and imagine, it supersedes your logical understanding of where you are. So then you begin to see things that eyes have not seen and ears have not heard. You begin to tap into realms and go into certain frequencies that, of course, in your logical, regular, analytical mind, you may not would have even thought to think of it or even to view or look at that approach. And I'm telling you now, guys, we've been able to do quantum leaps and get massive results because we've been utilizing our higher faculties, throwing out logic. And it's going to be very important that you learn that skill, okay? So let me get to this. Let me finish. He says, why doesn't the fly try another approach, something dramatically different? How did it get so locked into the idea that this particular route and determined effort offer the most promise for success? What logic is there in continuing until death to seek a breakthrough with more of the same? So right here, you all understand, even in this book, it has a whole chapter about faith. We have to have faith, but we also got to have faith in the sense, you all, that the mind that we were given, the only thing that separates us from the beasts of burdens as creators or as creation of God, as God's creation, is our mind, those higher faculties, your ability to imagine and reason and will and intuition and decision making. These things are what separates us because we can create and form our own environment. Subsequently, we're the only ones that are uncomfortable in our environment. Fish are not uncomfortable in water. Birds are not uncomfortable in the air. But because we are creators and we seek, the spirit in us seeks to always expand and express. So then we're uncomfortable because we tend to grow out of things. We tend to grow past things. And that's what our thinking mind and our subconscious mind allows us to do. So watch. He says, why would he lock into this one idea? Think about it. How many times that if you would have just made this decision or made that tweak, you would be at a better place today than you were yesterday, or even you would be further along in your life. That's a better way to say it. Well, the reality of it is, we get stuck because you're only stuck because you're not aware of how to be unstuck. I ask my clients when they come to us, and I say this, what's the largest or what's the most amount you've ever made in a year? Now, I don't ask that question to be nosy or to figure out what they can so I can set the price and nothing like that. Prices are already set, you all. They're very good, reasonable. But here's the thing, that lets me know their mindset, and that lets me know their approach and their relationship with wealth, with money. Because the reality of it is this, the only reason why a person who's making $35,000 to $40,000 a year is not making $35,000 to $40,000 a month is because they are not aware of how to do it. If they were aware, the results would be different. Now, once again, that's not a knock, you all. It is just a truth. And the truth is, the reality of it is that many of us were not taught how to be aware or how to earn those type of income. But it's very possible. And truth be told, it's really easy once you know the strategy, okay? And the good thing is we can show you. And it starts with looking at this story about the fly, a true story that happened. Because watch this. he goes on to say, no doubt this approach makes sense to the fly. Regrettably, it's an idea that will kill. So think about it. Sometimes, when I said earlier, sometimes we don't know until someone who knows tells us so. But you have to have a mindset that is open. You have to have a mindset that is flexible. I would say you got to have a double up mind, because also with that double up mind, you learn the skill set of how to go from the regular, in this example, $2 to $2,000. But along the road, there are ups and downs, highs and lows. And so you have to learn how to tweak things as you go, learn how to reorchestrate and rewrite and rethink and review so that you're continuing on an upward trend. Understand that sometimes you will get knocked back. Sometimes you will fail, but that's okay, because a failure is only a fail. A failure is only a failure if he stops or if she quits. So that means every failure, every setback is nothing but a learning opportunity. So I made up my mind at the beginning of the decade that I wasn't taking any L's in this whole decade, and I have not, because every loss is really a loss. It isn't really a loss, it's a learning opportunity. So here's the thing, y'all. Pritchett says trying harder isn't necessarily the solution to achieving more. What if that's the solution for you? What if that's the answer for you? That you've been trying so hard and you've been zeroing in so much, and you're supposed to now, but maybe it's time to try harder on being flexible and being open to different approaches. Maybe we ought to get with a mastermind group and get with some mentors and people who have actually done what we're trying to do. I guarantee you, if you get with someone who's doing what you already want to do, like many of you all who are watching now, some of you all have articulated to me, you want to be coaches, you want to get passive income, you want to start a business that you can make money while you sleep, then and that's great. I believe that's one of the most noble goals to have, is to want to be healthy and wealthy and be financially independent and financially free. Big goal, because once again, we need resources in order to express our love for our loved ones, in order to leave an inheritance for our children's children. But I'm gonna tell you this, when I got mentors, because I used to try to do it myself all the time. Y'all know favors, I used to do it, boy. But when I say, you know what, I'm gonna break down, I'm gonna get a mentor, my learning curve increased. I was not only able to learn fast, but I was able to see things, because watch, when you have a real mentor, one who understands the process and the due process of transformation of mindset, then they don't only just tell you what to do, they tell you how to do it. And from that, you all, that learning curve begins to kick in, because you're not seeing things from where you are anymore. You see, I want you all to get this image in your mind. If you're here and you want to be here, okay, your mentor is up here already. So that means they're on a certain frequency. So from this space, there are certain lines that have to go up, right? I should have did this on the whiteboard. I'll do it next week. So imagine now that you're busy trying harder on this level down here to get up here. This person up here can give you a direct route to get up there, but instead of you listening to them, you want to try harder down here. No, when you get a mentor who really understands what I'm teaching you all, and the coach who understands this, you now have to start believing on their frequency, which means you got to start seeing, watching, applying, and believing up here, which is in perfect harmony with your goal. Now, these are the things you see. I get passionate about this, y'all, because once Bob and them and some of my coaches over here in Proctor Gallery showed me this, said, Favors, you stay up here all the time. Just because it hadn't manifested or came into form yet, you know, it's still there. And all you have to do is make a decision. You don't have to know how it's going to happen. You just stay focused on the assignment that my mentor has given you. My mentor gave me some assignments. I stay focused on them, y'all. Next thing you know, we hit a high. We hit a monthly goal, a monthly record. Now we're on that frequency. Now we're going toward the next one, y'all. And this comes from understanding the true story, the concept in it. So let me finish, guys, because I'll be on here all day talking to you because I'm so excited. And I hope you all are too. So he says, try harder isn't necessarily the solution to achieving more. It may not offer any real promise for getting what you want out of life. But sometimes, in fact, it's a big part of the problem, not knowing when to pivot and make that change. And I suggest, or I suspect, some of you are in a place in your life where it's time to pivot and make a change. You don't need to give up on your dream. You just got to switch and shift and change the mode by which you're going to get to your dream, the vehicle even, okay? So watch, he says, if you stake your hopes for a breakthrough, on trying harder than ever, just like the fly, you may kill your chances for success. Now, once again, for those who are already thinking, well, it worked for me and it did this and it did that. Hey, you know what? There's always an anomaly. There's always the one. But we're talking about for the general, for the masses, you all, this story about the fly hit home. It's a true story, but it resonates. And so if that landed with you, if you all can identify with that sometimes in your life, even if you're at that point right now, that you realize, you know what, this is good for me. I'd like to hear from you all. I want you all to do me a favor. Just drop some comments below. What was your takeaway from this piece of you all? Really comment and engagement. I mean, and engage it, because I don't want to be on here just doing and sharing things that's not effective for you. Based upon the answers from the questions when you all joined, I put together some of this information and I wanted to give it to you for free because once again, this double up, this strategy, mastering you squared, take you to different heights alone, right? So with that being said, you all, this whole thing now, the way it hit me in the form of a mindset reset. I said, how in the world can you quantum leap and make big gains like that? Because I was thinking that you have to do it incrementally. And in weeks to come, I'm going to show you that you don't have to do it that way. There is a better way. There's another strategy that you can check out. So guys, look, if you haven't gotten your book, you can go right there to Amazon. You can order a copy. I ordered another book. It got here in 3 days. You can order this book, man. I'm telling you, we're going to be in it. That way you can follow along with me. And then here's something that I would like you all to help me out with as well. I can't reach everyone, so I need your help. I'd like you all to start inviting your friends and people who you believe can benefit. If you got team leaders, coaches, if you have a business already, you're trying to rally a team, you're trying to, incorporate and give something back because they work so hard. This is one of those things that will really help you. And so if you don't mind, y'all start inviting people who can benefit from this. We'll let them in there. They just need to answer a few of the questions so we know they're not a bot and know that they're not spamming, okay? And then the next thing, you all, if you would, I'll be here every Monday, but if you're interested in learning more about this, you already know that there's something amazing getting ready to happen. This is just the first page. We hadn't even gotten to the first chapter, the content. The first chapter is on the promise, a new thought. And I got mad notes on that. It go deep, y'all. But if you understand that, you know what, I might be interested in something like this. We got programs that can help you quantum leap you, because here's the reality, man. You all know the problem isn't in here when it comes to achieving big goals and having the results that you want. The problem is really in the doing, and the doing is the performance part, right? So what I do is I'm basically a performance mindset and business coach, because even with the mindset, I teach you how to get the results. You get the results through the routine, and the routine comes with your ability to perform, to execute the information and material. And I'm having great results with it. Even since we first started the Institute in 2016, we had some programs back then. Y'all don't forget, I'm John Maxwell certified. So I was teaching leadership, but I noticed that even with the leadership, it was a huge void with people who were young emerging leaders, right? So I was teaching from the standpoint of people already being leaders. But what about those who want to become a leader, who want to unleash the leadership in them? What about the ones who want to unleash the entrepreneurship? See, people working jobs, but they want to make the transition, but don't know how. And truth of the matter is, they are up in age, so they can't afford to blow their life savings on a risk that is not a well-calculated, informed risk. I get it. Y'all remember, I teach Forex. So I know about risk and pullbacks. I know about all of that. But if you're interested, y'all, then I would encourage you to hit the link in the chat, you all. I'll leave it down there, and set a call up with me and my staff. It's free, it won't cost you anything, but it's time that you really get on the right side of this thing and start to retweak these things so you can live that life of freedom that you really want to live. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not gonna take you 10 years. What took me 10 years to learn, I can show you in a year or two, depending on how committed and how much work you really want to put in for your dream. So with that being said, you all, this is Doc Favors. I appreciate all of you all as always. And like I said, please leave me some comments down below so I know this was effective for you. And we'll see you next time right here, next Monday at 12 noon, going into the Double Up Masterclass. See you soon.